Shadow Articuno is coming to Shadow Raids in Pokemon Go this weekend. In this video I'm going to go through all the current Shadow Raid bosses and I'm going to go through some of the best ways that you can prepare for Shadow Articuno raids. Shadow Articuno will be in 5-star Shadow Raids starting from Saturday, June 10th at 10 AM and will continue to be available for the rest of the weekend. It will then return each weekend throughout June. Besides the 5-star Shadow Raids only being available at the weekend, 1-star and 3-star Shadow Raids are actually available now and they'll be available every day throughout June. The current 1-star Shadow Raid bosses are Shadow Growlithe, Abra, Starly and Mareep. Of these, only Growlithe can be shiny, and all of these raids should be soloable, even without specific counters. Shadow Starly could be worth raiding because Shadow Staraptor is the number 5 overall flying type raid attacker. Shadow Abra is also relevant if you're going to purify it to Mega Evolve into Mega Alakazam, because Mega Alakazam is currently the second best Psychic type raid attacker with Confusion and Psychic, and number 5 fighting raid attacker with its fighting moveset Counter and Focus Blast. And it's not even a fighting type, so it doesn't have stab, so it just goes to show how strong Mega Alakazam actually is. Shadow Mareep could also be worth doing if you're going to purify it for Mega Evolution, because Mega Ampharos is a decent electric type raid attacker. Despite the lower IV floor of Shadow Raids being 666, it's actually easier to obtain a regular hundo from a Shadow Raid, because you can purify giving it +2 IVs to each stat. This means that anything 13, 13, 13 IVs or more is a purified hundo. So this works well for getting hundos for Mega Evolution because obviously a Shadow Pokemon can't be Mega Evolved, so you will be purifying it anyway. In 3-star Shadow Raids we have Gligar, Sneasel, Throh, which is exclusive to North America, South America and Africa, and Sork, which is exclusive to Europe, Asia and Australia. Both Gligar and Sneasel can be shiny from these raids, and Shadow Gligar could be worth raiding because Gliscor in its Shadow form is ranked 47 in the Great League and ranked 28 in its regular form. And in the Ultra League it is ranked 14 as a Shadow and ranked 22 in its regular form. The best PvP IVs for Gliscor in the Great League are 1-15-14 and 0-14-15 in the Ultra League. However, with the 666 IV floor and inability to trade Shadows, it is not possible to reach these IVs with Shadow Gligar from Shadow Raids. You could however purify the Gligar and trade to reroll the IVs with a good friend with a 1-1-1 IV floor to get close to the IVs. But if you want a perfect PvP IV Shadow Gliscor, you would have to wait and try and get it from a grunt or a leader when it's next in the rotation. For tier 3 and tier 5 Shadow Raids, the raid boss will become enraged when its HP falls to around 60%. This enraged buff is actually very significant because it increases the attack of the raid boss by 80% and it increases the defense of the raid boss by 200%. The defense buff will make the Pokemon super bulky and it will make it difficult to beat the raid in time. If you push through the fight and manage to get the boss down to 12.5%, it will automatically become subdued and the attack and defense buff will go away. There is however a way to subdue a raid boss earlier by giving it a certain number of purified gems. You need 4 shadow shards to make a purified gem. You can get shadow shards from pretty much any Team Rocket encounter. From Grunts you'll get 1 shadow shard, from leaders you'll get 3 and from Giovanni you'll get 4. You can also obtain a varying amount of shadow shards from the Shadow Raids themselves. Once you get 4 Shadow Shards, they will automatically combine into a Purified Gem, and you can carry up to 10 Purified Gems at a time. It actually takes 8 Purified Gems to subdue a Tier 3 or Tier 5 raid boss completely at an earlier stage than its natural subdue point at 12.5%. So with all this said, are Tier 3 Shadow Raids soloable? So Sneasel and Gligar should be an easy solo without Purified Gems because Sneasel is double weak to fighting and Gligar is double weak to ice. Sork and Throh will be a little bit tougher, but they will be soloable with some good counters at high levels if you're not using Purified Gems. If you wanted to fully subdue the Pokemon, you would need somebody else to help you because you can only use 5 Purified Gems per person and you need 8 to subdue them. For Shadow Articuno preparation, I would highly recommend getting a full set of 10 Purified Gems ready. With Purified Gems and some good counters, this raid boss should only take around 2 or 3 people to beat, but it could take around 4 or 5 people without gems and without the best counters. With that said, let's have a look at some counters for Shadow Articuno. It is weak to Steel, Fire, Electric and double weak to Rock, and it's this double Rock weakness that will make it quite a bit easier to beat than Shadow Mewtwo. The best Mega counters are Mega Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, Mega Aggron with Smackdown and Meteor Beam, Mega Blaziken with Fire Spin and Blast Burn, and Mega Charizard Y with the same moveset. I would highly recommend Aerodactyl and Aggron here because of Articuno's double weakness to Rock. Also, Aerodactyl shares the flying type with Articuno, so when Articuno is caught, you will get extra Articuno candy, chance for XL candy and bonus XP depending on the Mega level. Charizard Y will be double weak to Ancient Power, so keep that in mind. Also make sure whichever Mega you are using shares the type with most of the Pokemon that the other people in the raid are using to give that extra damage boost if you need it. The best Shadow counters are Tyranitar with Smackdown Stone Edge, Aggron with Smackdown and Meteor Beam, and Omastar with Rock Throw and Rock Slide. The best legendary counter here would be Terrakion with Smackdown and Rock Slide. Other legendaries are a bit far down the list, so it would be worth going with some other shadows or other budget counters instead. The best budget counters for Shadow Articuno are Rampardos with Smackdown Rock Slide, Rhyperior with Smackdown Rock Wrecker, Gigalith with Smackdown and Meteor Beam, Tyranitar with Smackdown Stone Edge, Aurorus with Rock Throw Meteor Beam, and Aggron with Smackdown Meteor Beam. Shadow Articuno can be shiny with a 1 in 20 chance, and the 100% IVs will be 1743 and 2179 with a weather boost in snowy or windy weather. Hopefully this video helps you out with all of the current Shadow Raid bosses, and helps you out with some preparation for Shadow Articuno. Let me know in the comments which Shadow Raids you're going to be doing. And as always, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.